What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. And as you can see, I'm out here in the backyard in the dead of winter. I'm releasing all my recipes as a compilation for the month of January 2026, and I think you're going to love them. Make sure you watch this video to the very end, like and subscribe, and comment below which recipe was your favorite. In this game day recipe video, I'm going to show you delicious jalapeno poppers I think you should make for the Super Bowl Sunday coming up. And seriously, guys, these were spectacular. Smoked on my offset smoker, seriously delicious. Then I made a delicious beer batter and I shallow fried them. Listen to how crispy that is. Isn't this spectacular? These jalapeno poppers were smoked, then beer battered, fried, and seriously delicious. I'm going to walk you through the entire recipe now. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossi. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Like and subscribe. Comment below if you like this recipe. We're going to start with just a bunch of jalapenos. That's it. This is where it all begins. And we're going to canoe them. If you don't know what canoeing means, it means slicing off the top and basically cutting them in half and emptying them out. Now, a lot of the heat from a jalapeno comes from the seeds and the insides. So if you want this to be really spicy, set those seeds aside. But for now, we're going to go ahead and make our stuffing for this. Now, I always start with cream cheese. I add in diced garlic, diced shallot, diced cherry tomatoes, shredded cheese, and then whatever barbecue seasoning you want. I like to give that a whole mix, and if it's being really tough, you can add just a little bit of sour cream in there to loosen it up. But I'm letting you know, you can just use whatever ratios here you like. If you like a lot of cream cheese, add more cream cheese than sour cream. If you want it to be a little thinner, add a little more sour cream. It's going to be absolutely delicious. Then you're going to take that stuffing and fill each of those little jalapeno canoes fully. After that point, you can see it here. We're wrapping this in bacon, guys. And everyone knows, I mean, hey, bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers, how could you ever complain? Seriously, I'm not lying. This is so delicious. And truth be told, you don't need a smoker for this next part. You can easily just oven bake these. They will still be delicious. However, I love my offset smoker, and I am using sugar maple today. We're smoking this low and slow at 275 degrees for about an hour and a half. And what you're going to notice is after an hour and a half or so, the bacon should be cooked. Those jalapenos should start to soften, loosen up. You're going to see a beautiful mahogany color start to form on your bacon. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. Not only that, it's going to smell delicious. Well, these are picking up that sugar maple smoke. Oh, buddy. I mean, I get so revved up from that. Oh, dude, it's so delicious. So this is what it normally looks like right before I pull them off the smoker. As you can see, that bacon is crisped up. Those jalapenos have kind of changed color a little bit and look like they're a little looser. Oh man, these are going to be spectacular. And as you also can see, I have them on an wire rack, and that's going to make it easier for putting them on and taking them off the barbecue. All right, let's go ahead and make our beer batter. This is real simple, okay? So it's going to be 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, or just regular paprika if you don't have smoked, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, a pinch of salt. Oh, buddy, put in any amount of pepper you want, and then you're going to grab a whisk. And you want to mix this. I know it kind of sounds weird, but believe it or not, this dry rub that we kind of created here isn't mixed properly until you go through it with a whisk. Then we're going to slowly incorporate a Nova Scotia lager. This is from Cold Stream Beer. Oh man, they are delicious beers. And I'm just going to throw this in nice and slow, adding about 1/5 of the can at a time. And we're just going to continue to slowly mix it. Don't worry, it will eventually kind of form the slurry you're looking for. Patience is key here. It will take you a few minutes of mixing, but just give it a good mix and you'll get there. Next, those jalapeno poppers are coming right off the offset smoker. And as you can see here, that bacon's looking fantastic. The whole thing's looking amazing. So we're going to give it a quick toss in some flour. You just give it a quick tap off and then plop it right into that slurry. Okay, so again, mix it into the flour, get a light layer on there, and then mix it into the slurry. Pull it out, put it onto a wire rack. We're going to repeat this process for all of these jalapenos. Now, I do recommend making sure you give them a good dunk, but also letting some of the excess drip off before you put it over onto the wire rack. And again, using a wire rack here is actually quite important. It's going to allow all that extra little bit of batter to drip off before you shallow fry. And so I like to let them sit there for maybe 30 seconds or a minute just to let any excess batter kind of do its work and, come off of it. Then next, we're going to put half the batch into a nice little shallow pan with some oil. I'm running this oil around 375 degrees. You can use a meat thermometer just to take the temperature by dipping it into the oil. And we're just going to give this about 2 to 3 minutes each side just to let that beer batter crisp up nicely. And guys, we're just going to rinse and repeat for the other half of the jalapeno poppers. I mean, there you have it. Don't these look absolutely delicious? Check out this crisp like I showed before. That's actually spectacular. I'm really thrilled with the results here, guys. Slicing into this, you can see that filling is delicious. That jalapeno has softened up. That bacon is cooked perfectly, wrapped in that beer batter. Dip it into an unbelievable little like sour cream buffalo dip that I threw together. These were seriously delicious, guys. A 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed everything about this recipe, and I highly recommend you give it a shot this game day season. Seriously, the Super Bowl is coming up. Football is here in full force. If you like snack food, if you like delicious treats, you gotta give this a shot. Not only is it simple, it's delicious. Also, don't hesitate. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It's your boy Saucy Rossy. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment below if you like this recipe. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and have an unbelievable day. Pretty much everyone loves chicken wings, but have you ever had smoked chicken wings that were then beer battered and shallow fried? Listen to how crispy and delicious that was. Guys, these might actually be the best chicken wings I have ever made. And it's 100% what I'm serving up for Super Bowl Sunday. Here's the entire recipe. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossy. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm fully seasoning these chicken wings with one of my favorite barbecue dry rubs, maple bourbon by Cuso Cuts. It's absolutely spectacular. However, you can use whatever you would like as a seasoning here. Salt and pepper is perfectly fine. If you have a different dry rub that you love with chicken wings, please use that. It's going to be beautiful here. We want to make sure we liberally coat these chicken wings. Super important. Get every nook and cranny. We really want to make sure that seasoning is all over. Goodness gracious. Line them up on a wire rack. We're going to throw them out on the offset smoker, low and slow, like 275 to 300 degrees. We want to bring them up to 165 degrees internal. And doing it low and slow with a smoker really adds that smoky flavor in there. I'm using sugar maple today, and it's going to be absolutely spectacular. However, if you don't have a smoker, if you just have a regular barbecue or you're using your oven, you can cook these chicken wings a little bit higher, like 325, 350. I'm just going lower and slower to let that smoky flavor adhere into these chicken wings. So if you're using a pellet smoker like I have or an offset smoker like I have, either one of those will be great for low and slow. If you're not, go a little hotter and faster just to get the job done quicker. So as I mentioned, once these chicken wings pass 165 degrees internal, they are officially done. They're ready to be eaten, but they're not in their final form. We're going to bring them a few steps further. And it all starts by just paying close attention and finding a beer you love. And I know with the Super Bowl, I'm drinking some Nova Scotia Lager by Coldstream Clear. So let's make a slurry using that same beer. Into a metal bowl, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of black pepper. However, the black pepper, you're more than welcome to put way more in if you like it. I love black pepper, so I added in like 2 to 3 teaspoons total. Anyway, we're going to crack that Nova Scotia lager by Cold Stream Clear. And check it out. We're just going to pour that in. If you want to take a sip, you're more than welcome. It's delicious. But we're going to grab a whisk and just slowly start incorporating this, okay? We want to really keep pouring in that liquid as we kind of jangle it around. It's going to be chunky at first, but as you just keep stirring, it will loosen up, become smoother, and it's going to be prepped, bud. Next, we're going to take those cooked chicken wings off the smoker. We're going to throw them in some flour, then directly into our slurry. You don't need to get much flour on there. Tap it off before you throw them into the slurry. Don't put too much flour. You won't enjoy that. But by golly, once they're looking like this, we're going to move them over onto a wire rack. We're just going to let them kind of drip for a moment to get some of the excess off. Then you're going to start shallow frying them. Now, if you've never shallow fried, get yourself a pan and put just a small amount of oil in, enough to cover about 1/2 to 2/3 of the chicken wing. And when you drop these chicken wings in, drop them away from yourself so it doesn't splash back up at you. Now, this oil is at 375 degrees right now, and it's just going to putt along, just cooking these beautifully. This does not take much time, probably about 2 to 3 minutes each side maximum. And you're going to get that delicious, crispy coating, that beer batter finish. Absolutely spectacular, guys. My golly, these were insane. The flavor level was out of this world. And just listen to how crispy these are. I was thrilled with the result. Like, seriously delectable, guys. And I served them up with this delicious buffalo sour cream dip. And man, oh man, that smoky flavor, that beer batter, that unreal dip all combined together was seriously spectacular and delicious. Man, oh man, everything about this was a 10 out of 10. And if you like this recipe and are going to try it for the Super Bowl, don't be afraid to tag me on social media if you drop any pics. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossi. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. You know what the deal is. I'm always dropping these simple recipes you can cook at home yourself. I hope you try this one out for the Super Bowl. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. You'll love it to death, bud. Thanks again for watching. Take care, stay safe, and remember, barbecue for life. It's the middle of winter, and I'm barbecuing some delicious trout. This simple barbecue trout recipe is so easy, and if you want to follow it at home, I guarantee you're going to be thrilled with the results. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue, out here grilling up a storm in the middle of the winter. Look at this delicious trout, cooked perfectly. Holy cow. Clean tasting, moist, tender, naturally rich, herb infused. Oh, bud, this recipe is a 10 out of 10. Make sure you like and subscribe. You know what's up. It's your boy. All right, check it out. I picked up a trout from the store, my local grocery store. And as you can see here, you just got to pat it dry with some paper towel. And I'm going to hit the inside with some Maritime Madness habanero mustard. Now, I'm not putting a lot. I'm just putting a light coating, okay? And that's going to add just a little bit of heat to this fish. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. You can see there I'm massaging it in, making sure to get the inside nice and covered, clean out any, whatever you might find in there. And then you're going to grab your favorite dry rub. I'm using Louisiana Cajun dry rub, again, by Maritime Madness. And I'm liberally seasoning this fish from top to bottom, both sides, the inside, the outside. You know what's up. Make sure to fully coat it. As you can see there as well, I've put some slits into both sides of the fish just for a little bit of style and hopefully to get that seasoning a little bit further into that flesh. Next, we're going to grab some fresh dill and we are going to stuff that fish full. Then grab yourself a couple slices of lemon and we're just going to slot those into the fish, making sure to secure them in there. Look, when you put a bunch of stuff inside of a fish, it's easy for it to fall out. So just make sure stuff's properly packed in there and you're going to be good to go. Optionally, you can hit the exterior of the fish with just a little bit of olive oil if you'd like. Nothing too crazy at all. And as you can see here, this fish is ready to go right out on the barbecue. This is going to be absolutely delicious, guys. So I fired up my Napoleon charcoal grill with a bed of Kingsford charcoal briquettes set up for two-zone cooking. If you don't know what two-zone cooking is, you should go watch one of my other videos about it. However, really quickly, it's basically putting all the coals to one side of your barbecue. So one side's really hot and the other side is just hot. Okay, we're going to put this fish directly over that coal bed. We're going to let it sit there for about 5 to 6 minutes. Then we're safely going to give it a flip. Now trust your flip. That's really important here. At this point, the fish is starting to cook, and it's easy for you to get nervous and not complete that flip. And if you don't, bud, you can cause yourself some grief by really just making a mess on the barbecue. That's why I suggest you have some confidence. Next, we're going to move this over onto indirect heat. And we're just going to let this ride until it hits 145 degrees internal. Now look, trout is high in protein. It's rich in omega-3 fatty acids. It's naturally low in saturated fat. It's packed with vitamins, and it's easily digestible. I think it's perfect for the barbecue because it cooks quickly. You can get some good, beautiful, crispy skin on there if you know what you're doing. It absorbs smoke deliciously. It doesn't need heavy seasoning, and it's extremely versatile. Okay, and you can see here, this is just looking delicious. It's got a naturally buttery flavor without being heavy. It's so flaky and moist. Like, guys, it's a 10 out of 10. I'm going to just peel back some of this skin here and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. We got that balance between like a smoky charcoal grilledness and that fresh flavor from the ocean. Oh, buddy, it feels indulgent, but it's still healthy. Oh, man. I'm really enjoying this trout, and I'm really glad I took the time to try and barbecue it. I'm telling you, seriously awesome alternative to heavier barbecue meats. Oh, bud. And as you can see here, flaky, tender, and delicious. Those are always what I'm looking for. Just check this out. Clean and just packed with flavor. That lemon and dill interior, that Louisiana Cajun dry rub, guys, it's amazing. If you're still watching, I really appreciate it. I hope you like and subscribe. If you're really into it, feel free to consider joining my Rub Club, a like-minded community of home cooks that just love barbecue and delicious food. Bud, thanks so much for supporting the channel by watching this. Make sure you like and subscribe. Take care and stay safe. Ah, yes, the elusive roast beef sandwich from the barbecue on a pellet smoker. Guys, this recipe was super simple and super delicious. What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. And the price of meat is through the roof lately. And I just wanted to show you guys one simple way you can use your smoker at home to make roast beef sandwiches. Like, I guess you could really use it for any kind of meal, but I made a delicious sandwich. I roasted this. It was absolutely spectacular. On my smoker. This is so simple. Let's go through the entire recipe start to finish so you fully understand, because this one was delicious, easy, and just a 10 out of 10. Honestly, I was blown away. So to start off, what cut of meat should you go with? Well, I'm going to use tri-tip today. I love tri-tip, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. Now, I found this piece at my local grocery store. They clearly sectioned it in half, but I'm not complaining. It was only a few bucks. So I'll take half the tri-tip. You know what? That's perfectly fine with me for this. And I'm going to season it with some Mighty Mesquite Dry Rub from Maritime Madness. This stuff is absolutely delicious on beef. You know what's up. I'm seasoning all sides, trying my best to pet it in as well. Don't rub it in. I know it's called a dry rub, but that's real important here. And as you can see, I'm clearly seasoning all sides liberally. Now, I've got my pellet smoker set to 250 degrees, and I'm just letting it smoke. I guess technically this is a reverse sear, but check it out. We're smoking it at 250. Today I'm using a mix of hickory and maple pellets, and I'm just going to let this ride. And the idea here is we're going to monitor the internal temperature. When it gets around 120 degrees internal, that's when I'm going to kick it up a notch, and we're going to set the pellet smoker to 500 degrees. But by going low and slow at like 225, 250, we're just going to let that smoky flavor just kind of go right into that beef. Now, like I said, we're going to kick it up to 500 degrees on our Pit Boss pellet smoker. You also want to open up the little, I think it's called a searing plate, just so that it can kind of come through a little bit. And I was actually shocked with how much, searing this actually did. I wouldn't say it's incredible, but it definitely is great. Right? Like it did a fantastic job. I flipped it every like 25 or 30 seconds, 2 or 3 times. And I'd say so far, so good. I'm really not complaining, guys. Just monitor it. Make sure you're not overcharring it, overdoing it. Remember, the idea here is we're smoking this beef. We want it kind of consistently cooked through, and we're going to slice it with a meat slicer, not like a chef's knife. So do your best not to char it too crazy on the outside, but honestly, it's your food. Cook it the way you want it. If you want it a little more charred than I did it, go ahead. Char it a bit more. If you want to take it off a bit earlier, I'm not going to say anything to you. What I will say, though, is that smokiness added that beautiful mahogany color to this piece of beef. And you can tell it was sitting in some juices just by resting it for about 5 or 10 minutes. That's also really important. If you weren't aware, you should be resting your meat. Another important tip is slicing against the grain. So as you can see here, the grain is running the way I just ran my fingers. So we're going to slice right against that. And again, today I mentioned we're using a meat slicer. This is the exact same thing as a knife, but it can be used to just slice things to very specific widths consistently. So I just got it and I thought I should be trying it out. And as you can see here, this beef is cooked beautifully throughout. I am ecstatic. I sliced this all the way down to this little mountain of meat here, and I am absolutely thrilled. Now, one thing I really want to point out here is the main reason I decided to do this was just the price of meat in my local grocery store. I think it was like 185 grams of roast beef for I think $7.99. So just by going over to the meat section and picking up the piece of meat and kind of cooking it myself, I don't know the exact amount of money I saved, but this was only like $10 or something like that. And this is definitely more than 185 grams. If I'm not mistaken, this was like 720 grams or 730. So, hey, I am definitely doing well. Only like $1 or $2 more, and I'm getting about triple the amount of meat. Guys, sometimes food takes a little bit of effort, but just knowing how to do a recipe like this, something simple that really you can put your own unique twists on. I mean, you can kind of mend this to your own, flavor profile. If you want a different dry rub on it, you can do that. If you want a different blend of pellets or maybe something completely different, maybe you want to do this on a charcoal grill with oat wood. I mean, there are different options available. This would also completely work on a gas grill, a little bit cleaner. Guys, there's so many different options here with roast beef, and I'm psyched about it. So I packed a little bit of this away into some like vacuum seal bags so that I could come back and make some additional sandwiches and whatnot. But I'm telling you, this meat was incredible for a sandwich. The sandwich I made, I just used some delicious yellow mustard and some red onion that I fried in some balsamic vinaigrette. Oh, guys, it was incredible. As you can see, I kind of slopped mustard all over it now that I'm watching this video. That is a bit wild. I did add a bit much, but hey, what can you do, right? I'm not too worried about it. That's actually kind of funny. Oh man. So I was really hungry when I made this, and I basically piled on that beef. Oh man. And I'm telling you, if you like delicious sandwiches, you're going to definitely want to try this if you have a pellet smoker. I was blown away. Normally, when I do things in my pellet smoker, it's like chicken wings, pulled pork. What else? We could do chicken on there, but I've never really done a piece of beef for a sandwich. And man, I was missing out. I should have done this sooner. I mean, check out this cross section of the sandwich. I'm stoked on it, guys. Just like I'm stoked that you're still here watching my video. If you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe. My name's Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Comment below if you think this is a delicious sandwich. And as well, don't hesitate to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm always posting, putting up delicious recipes for fellow home cooks that just enjoy barbecue. So go ahead, hit those buttons, like and subscribe, eat a sandwich this good, enjoy yourself, stay safe, and take care until next time. This is my game day Super Bowl smoked rib recipe. If you're having friends over, if you're watching the game this Sunday, if you're just enjoying football or really any sports and you like smoked ribs, you need to try this recipe. It's so simple and delicious. We're beer brining some pork ribs today. And I'm letting you know right away, this adds a layer of flavor that's unimaginably delicious. Like, it's out of this world, spectacular. And it's all about that beer brine and building it correctly. So let me show you what's up. I've got some pork ribs that I sliced into individual portions. We're going to throw them into a large stock pot. This is my 11-quart stock pot by The Rock. I recommend getting a nice big pot for this. We're going to take a red onion, and we're just going to slice that thing up, and we're just going to kind of break it up all over top. Then we're going to go in with an apple. You can really go in with any type of apple, but I prefer Honeycrisp. If you want, you can throw in 2. Then 1 blood orange. If you want, again, you can throw in up to 2. It's up to you. Then we're going to go in with some crushed, or I should say smashed cloves of garlic. We're going to go in with 2 to 3 cups of cold water, and then we're going to go in with a little brine. Now that brine is 1 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. We're going to warm it gently, don't boil it, and just make sure everything dissolves together. That's how you kind of make the concentrate. Let it cool down, then we're going to add it in. Then we're going to grab a Nova Scotia lager, cold stream clear. Crack it open, pour the full thing in, then grab a second one and pour the full thing in. Any beer will work fine here, but I do recommend a lager. That's a really good choice for this recipe. Now, these ribs will absorb this quickly. 2 to 3 hours max in the fridge. Like, they will take this flavor on in no time at all. After 2 to 3 hours, you're going to give them just a quick kind of like wipe off, you know. We're going to remove them from that liquid. We're just going to give a paper towel wipe down. Then grab the barbecue seasoning of your choice. I'm using a maple bourbon dry rub by Kuso Cuts. But again, any dry rub that goes with pork will work spectacularly here. And we're going to make sure to fully cover both sides. That's super important. Be liberal with your seasoning. Make sure to get all sides, top, bottom, front, back. Once you put the seasoning on as well, kind of move stuff around so it gets as much as it can on there. You know, don't be overbearing with it, but make sure you get all sides covered. Then throw them onto a wire rack. Now, if you don't have a wire rack, that's perfectly fine, but it will just make moving things on and off the smoker a lot easier. So as you can see here, I have 2 little wire racks set up with a bunch of these individually portioned pork ribs. And I'm running this offset smoker low and slow using sugar maple. Absolutely delicious. Now, the really nice thing about this recipe is it only takes about 2 to 3 hours maximum on the offset smoker. And actually, to be clear here, I'm saying offset smoker. If you have a pellet smoker, that works perfectly fine. If you're using a charcoal grill and know how to run the right temperature, that's going to be perfectly fine. And truth be told, you can even do this in the oven. It will still be delicious. Even without that smoky flavor, it's still going to be fantastic from the beer brine. So I'm running this offset smoker at 250 to 300 degrees, usually around 275, but it does spike, it does drop a little bit. It is the dead of winter. And I mean, I am smoking this in like -5 outside, right? So check it out. These are looking fantastic. As time goes on, I'm continuously spritzing them with apple cider vinegar roughly every 30 minutes or so. That's really important here. We want to make sure we're building like a bark on the outside, but also making sure we're not allowing these individually portioned ribs to dry out because they are small. They only have so much moisture to them. Now, the beer brine's going to spectacularly assist with that, but it's still something you need to pay attention to. So be cautious. And remember, these are for the Super Bowl. They need to be delicious. Okay, so after 2 hours, these are looking spectacular. You're seeing that bone pull. Most of them are past 165 degrees internal. Take your wire racks. We're going to pull them off the smoker. We're going to transfer it over into a tinfoil tray. Throw down a couple slices from a knob of butter, and you're going to grab the barbecue sauce of choice. I'm using a dark rum smoky barbecue sauce. It's a sauce from a company called Signature Spice Shop. And they actually did a collab with the beer company I'm using, Coldstream Clears, other spritzer company and alcohol company. They make like gin, rum, basically all kinds of drinks. It's pretty badass. They're awesome and a wicked Nova Scotia company. Anyway, as you can see here, I'm using that delicious sauce because dark rum sauce sounds fantastic. And I knew it was going to be great here. Poured it all over top of that that pile of ribs with the knobs of butter, threw that tinfoil right on top, and I put it in the oven at 275 degrees for another hour and 20 minutes. And this is the result. Delicious ribs, beautiful bone pull. They're up to about 200 degrees. So if you bite into one of these, it's just going to fall off the bone. It's delicious, guys. Like smoked ribs are really easy. It's one of those, it's just like pulled pork. Pulled pork and smoked ribs are so basic and just delicious. And it's one of those easy barbecue recipes you can master yourself. You know what's up? I'm your main man, Saucy Rossy. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm always releasing these simple recipes. And make sure you like and subscribe here because I mainly post to YouTube. This is my favorite platform. I love these long format recipes, releasing them for you to try at home yourself. If you do try any of them, don't be afraid to post it online and tag me. I would love to see the result. Man, oh man, it would be wicked. And by the way, I also have what's called the Rub Club. You can subscribe, help me support the channel. It helps me with upgrades to cameras, to lighting systems. Join my community of like-minded cooks. Like and subscribe. Comment below if you think this is a wicked game day Super Bowl recipe. Thanks again for watching. It really means a lot, and I hope you're having a great day. If you own a smoker but have never smoked lamb's neck, you need to watch this entire recipe video. Lamb's neck is one of those pieces of meat that everyone with a smoker, whether it's an offset smoker, a pellet smoker, or like a charcoal grill, or even an electric smoker, you have to try lamb's neck. It's absolutely incredible. Look at this smoked lamb's neck flatbread that I made. Seriously delicious, seriously delectable. Guys, you'd love every bite here. Let's start from the top. It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Look at these two necks from a lamb. Oh my goodness. Don't they look spectacular? They've got great fat caps on them. Intermuscular rendering is going to definitely happen here. You can see all that fat running through it. Oh, buddy, that lean meat mixed with that fatty meat. Oh, lamb are perfect for the barbecue, guys. We're going to start by making a binder. I'm using some olive oil and Atlantic Mustard Mill's Nor'easter mustard. This mustard has some licorice to it, which goes absolutely fantastic with lamb. And I'm just letting you know, we're going in with roughly equal parts olive oil and mustard, and then about half the amount of apple cider vinegar. You're going to go and give this a good brushing onto your lamb's neck. We want to make sure we fully cover it, but you don't want to be too crazy. This is just a binder. So go on with a light layer here. Again, nothing too crazy. And we want to make sure we get every nook and cranny. That's really important as well. Seriously adding in that flavor. It's just a binder, but I don't care what people say. You can taste a binder if it's good enough. And today I'm using Perpetual Veg by Rolling Bones Barbecue. This stuff's absolutely fantastic, and I thought it would pair perfectly with lamb. I was pretty pumped about the result too. This was my first time trying it with lamb. It was kind of a guess, but it ended up being absolutely spectacular. As you can see here, I've liberally seasoned these two lamb's neck. Let's get it out onto the offset smoker. Now, I mentioned this earlier in the video. You don't need an offset smoker. It can be a pellet smoker, a charcoal grill, it could be an electric smoker. Any of those will work perfectly fine for what we're trying to do here, okay? But as always, if you watch this channel, you know what I'm about to say. Low and slow is the name of the game. We need to have a bunch of patience here, guys. 250 degrees for about 4 or 5 hours. We're really looking to build that bark. Now, about every 45 minutes or so, I'm giving these a light spritzing with some apple cider vinegar, just to make sure we don't overdo that bark and we keep it somewhat hydrated. But nothing too crazy. A quick spritz will get you exactly what you need. And as you can see here, these are just rolling low and slow, getting that beautiful bark, getting that beautiful mahogany color, rendering down all that intermuscular fat. These are going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, as always with barbecue, patience is extremely important. Do not pull these until they have hit at least 170 degrees internal. At that point, you can pull them off into a tinfoil tray. We're going to take a little bit more of that mustard we had earlier, that nor'easter. We're going to go in with a spoonful, and we're going to go in with a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and then half a cup of beef broth, okay? And we're going to make sure to do our best to kind of like mix it together a little bit. I know you're not going to be able to make a full solution with this, but go in with a little fork or something where the clumps of mustard are, and just try and kind of, melange those in and get that all incorporated, okay? Now, we're going to throw a little bit of tin foil on the top of this, and it's going to go into the oven or back onto the smoker, whichever you prefer. I prefer to throw it in the oven because at this point we're not catching any more smoke. We're just trying to get it cooked through, and the oven's a little more consistent of a heat source. However, the offset smoker or your pellet smoker is already running. If you want to throw it back out on there, you're more than welcome. And the goal here, guys, we're going to monitor this until we hit an internal temperature of about 203 degrees, at which point we're going to pull it off because it's looking fantastic. And you can see right there, guys, those vertebrae bones are showing through. This pulled away. Oh, this is going to be absolutely spectacular. So I drain off that liquid, and as you can see here, this is just shredding to oblivion. This is going to be glorious. I'm actually pretty stoked on this. I mean, just look at this pulled lamb's neck. Doesn't that look spectacular? Oh, yeah, nice and stringy, just as you want it. So I'm going to go back in with just a touch of that liquid. Nothing crazy, guys. We want to be really cautious here because you can totally overhydrate the lamb. But having a little bit of that liquid in there adds that extra little kick of flavor, and it's just delicious. Now, how do I actually eat this? So I start by grabbing some flatbread, and I made a Greek yogurt topping with equal parts Greek yogurt and that nor'easter mustard that I showed you earlier. Just give it a little wang jangle around, and you're ready to go. Spread it out on some flatbread like this, and then take your lamb and load it up. Be generous, guys, because it's delicious. Throw down some red onion, nothing crazy here. And then we're going to go in with a delicious sauce. Now, today, I thought an apple sauce with a little bit of spice would be perfect for this. So I'm using Fearman's Fire applesauce from Heat from the Hammer. And guys, doesn't this look spectacular? Man, this smoked lamb flatbread was everything and a bit more. Absolutely spectacular. And if you have a pellet smoker, a charcoal grill, an offset smoker, or even an electric smoker, and you haven't tried smoked lamb yet, you need to give it a go. It's absolutely spectacular. It's unbelievable. And it's so delicious. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my recipe. I hope you're having a great day. Don't be afraid to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I'm always posting new videos, new reels, all that stuff, just trying new recipes. So make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me for all that barbecue content. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and until next time, thanks again. Let's just jump right into it because this is a quick recipe video. I'm going to show you how I made the sauce that went on these ribs. We're going to start out by grabbing your favorite saucepan. This is the one that I use. It's the one I own. It's by The Rock. It's their Pro Series. You're going to go in with half a cup of ketchup. I'm using Heinz ketchup. Any ketchup will do. You're going to grab your favorite hot sauce. Lately, I've been using the Duke by Spicy Boys. It's delicious. We're going to go in with about half the bottle, otherwise about a quarter cup or so. Then you're going to give it a little splash of apple cider vinegar, about, a tablespoon or two. Then 3 to 5 tablespoons of maple syrup. I'm using like a butter flavored maple syrup as well for that extra little bit of ooey gooey deliciousness. Then go in with a spoonful of a fine grain mustard. I'm using black garlic by Atlantic Mustard Mill. Then you're going to go in with 2 splashes of Worcestershire sauce and 1 splash of fish sauce. Then you're going to just mix this all together and bring it to a low simmer, okay? After you let it simmer for about 5 minutes or so, mixing it regularly with a whisk, we're going to add in about a quarter cube of butter. That's probably around a quarter cup or so. And you're just going to mix that in and make sure it gets nice and velvety smooth. Now, you can put this barbecue sauce on anything. I'm putting it on these ribs. These ribs were smoked low and slow on my offset smoker for 3 hours, and I just need to finish braising them now for probably about another hour or two with that barbecue sauce all over top. And as you can see here, it tacked on beautifully. These look spectacular, but there's still that layer of sauce at the very bottom of the tinfoil tray. So I'm going to go ahead, get all these racks of ribs out, give them a quick dunk, and just show you what I'm talking about. I mean, check these ribs out. Don't they look absolutely spectacular? Sauce to completion, nice and ooey gooey and delicious. Guys, this recipe is so simple. I really hope you try it out because, man, it was easy and delicious. Trust me when I say that. Don't be afraid. Give me a follow on Instagram and TikTok. It's your boy Saucy Rossy. Thanks again for watching. This smoked ribs recipe is simple and delicious. I'm using an offset smoker, but you can do this on a pellet smoker or a charcoal grill or even your barbecue with a smoke tube. Guys, I can't tell you how amazing and easy this is, so make sure you follow this entire recipe. Let's start from the beginning. It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue, and I picked up this rack of ribs from my local grocery store, Sobeys. As you can see here, it's just looking fantastic. We got some good marbling on there. There's good little hunks of meat around the bone, and I've clearly split them into individual portions. Now, I'm using Garden Herb by Maritime Madness. This barbecue dry rub is absolutely fantastic. And when you pair it with Sweet Chipotle Dry Rub by Maritime Madness, it goes above and beyond. That just definitive sweet with a little bit of savory is just absolutely phenomenal on ribs. So I made sure to season all these pieces of meat liberally, getting all sides coated perfectly. And there they are, out on the offset smoker. And as you can see, it's running low and slow at about 250 degrees. I'm going to smoke these for 2 hours. And at the halfway point, I'm just going to flip them onto their other side on that wire rack. You're going to end up on char with one side and char on the other by doing this. If you don't flip them, one side will just end up a bit more charred, and they might be kind of hard to get off the wire rack if you are using a wire rack. Now, I'm spritzing them every 30 minutes with apple cider vinegar. You could use beer, orange juice, or apple juice if you'd like. And if you find that that taste really comes through, you can dilute it with some water. That's perfectly fine as well. Now, for smoke, I'm using sugar maple because I'm from Nova Scotia and I just love sugar maple. However, A bunch of different types of smoke work perfectly with pork, apple wood, cherry wood. The list goes on. Oak, you can do whatever you'd like. But personally, I'm using sugar maple with this. Oh, buddy. And it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, by letting this just run low and slow for 2 hours, we're going to get that good defined bark on the outside. It's going to get that nice smoky flavor. But since each rib portion is small, it's going to cook nice and fast. This is only a 2-hour smoke. Then we're going to transfer it over into a tinfoil tray, and we're going to take half a stick of butter, and we're just going to break it into small little slices here, as you can see. And we're just going to spread that about. Nothing crazy. I'm going in with a barbecue sauce I really enjoy, apple and beer grilling sauce by, again, Maritime Madness. And I'm just fully dumping it over, making sure every rib gets a nice little portion of that sauce. And it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now we're going to either throw it back onto the smoker at 275 or into the oven at 275. Personally, you can use the oven. I don't mind, but I threw it back onto the smoker. It's already running, so why not just continue to use that, right? As you can see here, these are looking absolutely delectable. I probably should have let them cool down a little bit, but bud, these were fantastic. Absolutely delicious. So tender and juicy. Fall off the bone once you bite into it. So packed with flavor because of all that seasoning on all the different sides. Guys, I'm telling you, this recipe is not only simple, but it's delicious. And I really think you should take the time to give it a shot yourself. Like, no lie, I'm really pumped about how this turned out. And I think you'd be pumped too if you tried this yourself. Look, if you got a pellet smoker, simple recipes like this will really help you get ahead in the barbecue world. So give it a shot. If you do, follow me on Instagram and TikTok and let me know how it went. Otherwise, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Take care, stay safe, and have a great day. It's the middle of the winter in Canada, and I wanted some delicious grilled chicken. Oh, buddy. Chicken thighs on a charcoal grill using a bed of Kingsford charcoal briquettes, seasoned with some barbecue dry rub. Oh, buddy, these are going to be absolutely scrumptious and delicious. What's up, guys? It's your boy, Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. I'm out here cooking up some delicious chicken thighs that I picked up from Sobeys, my local grocery store. I'm using Prince Edward Island Preserve Company's barbecue dry rub. And as you may have noticed, these Compliments chicken wings were only like $7.50 or something like that. So I knew using this simple barbecue dry rub, oh, buddy, I was going to get absolutely flavor-packed, delicious chicken thighs. So I went all over the top and bottom, over the skin, under the skin with that seasoning, then hit it with just a little bit of some nice olive oil, some of that nice stuff, right? I picked this up locally, just at the mall there. Oh, bud, absolutely spectacular. As you can see here, I've got a nice little layer of oil over the skin and on the chicken as well. And it's just seasoned to perfection. That barbecue seasoning is not like overwhelming those chicken thighs, so we don't have to worry. I'm using my Napoleon charcoal grill today, and I'm going to use Kingsford charcoal briquettes directly inside my charcoal chimney. I'm going to get them fully lit up, then set up my grill for 2-zone cooking. If you're not familiar with 2-zone cooking, it just means all the coals are pushed over to one side, so half I can use for direct heat and one half I can use for indirect heat. And as you can see here, I've got these chicken thighs skin side down directly over the coals. And we're going to let those cook basically until we get some nice char on there. Then we're going to flip them over and move them back onto the indirect side of the grill. That way they're not getting exposed to that intense direct heat, but we still let them come up past an internal temperature of 165 degrees. Personally, I love my chicken thighs around 180 degrees internal. I just find they're a little more, for lack of a better way to describe it, fall off the bone. It doesn't literally fall off the bone, but guys, it's so delicious. And they're still juicy at that point with chicken thighs because it's like darker meat. A little bit juicier if you know what you're doing. So look, like I said, skin side down directly over the coals. We're going to get these started, then move them off onto indirect heat, skin side up, and that's just going to let them finish off. Now I used a meat thermometer here just to make sure I pass that 165 degrees internal, but if you have your grill up around 400 degrees, you're probably good after about 45 minutes or so. And bud, these are going to be absolutely spectacular because we season them with our favorite dry rub. We hit them with that little bit of olive oil to help crisp up the skin. Now let's pull these off and give them the old inspection. Guys, these are looking spectacular. I think we have some pretty good grill marks on there. Nice little layer of char, but nothing too intense at all. Oh, buddy, that skin is nice and crispy. That chicken is juicy, loosey. This is spectacular. I'm actually pretty stoked on this one. It's going to be hella delicious. Man, oh man. And you better believe I devoured these chicken thighs. I mean, a pack of chicken thighs for $7.50. You really can't beat that in this economy. Holy cow. Man, I hope you're grilling some good food. If you're not already subscribed, I suggest you hit that button. Like and subscribe. My name is Saucy Rossi. I'm the Canadian king of backyard barbecue, constantly out here grilling up a storm. Oh, bud. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok, or if you want to help support the channel, you can now join the Rub Club or the Sauce Syndicate. Oh, bud, it's absolutely spectacular. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. It means so much to me. I hope you're having a great day. Take care of yourself and stay safe. This is a smoked salmon hot honey cranberry recipe, and it's a 10 out of 10. Like, it was seriously simple and delicious. The flavor profile was out of this world. Plus, seafood is really good for you. You know, fish has all those extra oils and nutrients in it that are great. I believe it's like omega-3 fatty acids. Oh, buddy, I'm telling you, seafood's delicious. When it's on the pellet smoker, it's so easy. And in this recipe, I'm going to show you everything start to finish. Let's talk about this Atlantic salmon fillet that I picked up at my local grocery store, Sobeys. I simply started off by drying it off, taking it out of the packaging, and just, wiping it down with some paper towel. Next, I wanted to give it a quick brine in the refrigerator. So I mixed 1 part kosher salt, 2 parts brown sugar. And I'm giving this a full layer coating and then throwing it into the refrigerator, okay? We're going to get this thing fully smothered with that salt and that brown sugar. We're going to throw it wrapped in a little bit of some paper right into the refrigerator. Nothing serious, probably for about an hour or 2. That's going to, absorb in there, really layer in those flavors. Next, you're going to take this fillet, and this might sound weird, but we're going to rinse it under cold water. You're going to get all that salt and all that brown sugar off the exterior. Then we're going to re-dry the fillet, okay? Now we're done. We're ready to go at this point. This is ready to get seasoned with some delicious barbecue dry rub. Now, if you have it skin on like I do, you don't need to season that side. But what's really important here is you take a paper towel and just fully dry it off. If you have a wire rack, I suggest you toss it skin side down onto that wire rack. Now, today, I'm going to be using the Prince Edward Island Preserve Company's barbecue spice rub. If you've ever been to Prince Edward Island, you're going to immediately recognize this kind of looks like that delicious red sand. Well, I just called it delicious. That's a bit weird. I don't think I've ever really purposely eaten sand. But anyway, I love that red color of the barbecue seasoning. I'm going to crack a little bit extra pepper on there just because I love pepper on my salmon. But as you can see, this is seasoned to perfection. We're going to throw this on the pellet smoker, running it at 225 degrees. Now, we're looking for an internal temperature of just around 120 degrees. Probably between 120 and 125 is best in my opinion. I love my salmon light and flaky. Absolutely delicious. We'll get to that a little bit later in the video. But for now, we're just going to let it run low and slow. Now, all kinds of different wood types and pellets work with seafood. You can use whatever you'd like. That's going to be best. But let's go back inside while this smokes, and we're going to take cranberries and the Halifax Honey Company's Stingin' Hot Honey, and we're going to add basically half the bottle of that hot honey and half the bag of those cranberries, along with just a quick splash of apple cider vinegar, and we're going to run that on a low heat. I'm running it on a 2 out of 10 for heat. So seriously, low, low, low. And we're just going to let that simmer while our salmon fillet is out there on that pellet smoker, catching that delicious smoky flavor. Now, again, like I was about to say, you can use many different types of wood with salmon. Personally, I love a good cherry wood, but it's up to you. When you buy your pellets on the back of the bag, you should be able to see what type of pellets are going to work with seafood along with other types of meat. Just be cautious and do what you enjoy. Now, that's simmering. After, a few minutes with the lid on, it's going to get all nice and bubbly, probably between 5 and 10 minutes, and those cranberries are going to start popping, adding that juice right into that stinging hot honey. And as you can see here in my saucepan by the rock, oh, bud, we seriously layered down that flavor. Reducing this cranberry hot honey sauce was fantastic. Give it a quick shake. We're going to just empty it out through a strainer. And if you want, you can keep these cranberries. You can actually just snack on them. They're delicious. But I was looking for that juice, that hot honey reduced down with that cranberry. Doesn't that look spectacular, guys? I'm actually really pumped about this. I'm feeling really creative. And where it was just 2 ingredients, that hot honey and those cranberries, this was unbelievably simple. I'm really excited about that because when you have a simple recipe, that's always exciting, especially when it's this delicious. Okay, so we're going back out to the smoker and we're checking our fish. And right here, we just hit that 120 degrees internal. You can see that intermuscular kind of fat, those layers, that intersection kind of rendering down. I think it looks absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. And guys, I'm really excited about this. So I pulled it off the smoker, and before letting it rest, as you can see here, still warm right off the smoker, we want to put our glaze on at this point. Well, it's going to sit there and rest. That glaze is going to absorb and just add that layer of flavor in. So take that salmon fillet that's fully cooked, 120 degrees internal, and we're going to just lightly touch it with that delicious hot honey cranberry mixture. It's really important not to be too aggressive here. You can totally knock off a bunch of that barbecue dry rub. So again, just make sure you're regularly just kind of tapping it there, dunking the brush back into that cranberry hot honey and just bringing up a little bit more of that liquid, getting all sides here. And what's going to happen is as this kind of levels out and kind of cools down, resting for 5 or 10 minutes, oh man, that hot honey cranberry is just going to like solidify into a delicious glaze. You guys are going to be pumped about this one. Check it out. All right, fully colored, fully coated. Let's let it rest, and you're going to notice immediately how it kind of dries off. All right, check it out. Isn't that looking spectacular? That color, that mahogany added right into that salmon, that already vibrant orange color is there. Oh, bud, it's looking spectacular. Now, the flavor profile on this was delicious. It was that distinct hot honey along with a little cranberry kick. And I'm telling you, that tart follow-up was amazing. I'm all about it, guys. Look how flaky and delicious this is. It's so simple. If you have a pellet smoker and are not smoking salmon, let me tell you right away. I want you to. I want you to take the chance. I want you to give it a try as well. I really appreciate you watching this far into my recipe videos. Seriously, it means a lot. I'm just out here having a good time on YouTube, and every one of my new followers always gets me pumped up to cook more for you guys. Whether it's seafood, chicken, brisket, it doesn't matter. And this year, I really want to push into seafood and get better at it because I'm from Atlantic Canada, and that just makes sense. Guys, check out this delicious salmon. Doesn't that look spectacular? Glazed perfectly, hit with that barbecue seasoning. I'm really pumped about this. And if you are too, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. Let me know what your favorite part of this video was. Let me know if you're going to make this. If you have any suggestions of any other hot honey variations that I could maybe try making, tell me. I'm super stoked on it. And check this out. I think we're looking spectacular. Some cream cheese on a little piece of like a bagel or an English muffin with that, broken up salmon with a little piece of dill on top. Guys, this is a 10 out of 10. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're still kicking around here, hey, maybe we could be even closer buddies. You can join my Rub Club or the Sauce Syndicate, a close community of like-minded home cooks. Bud, thanks again for watching. Means a lot. Thanks again. Take care, stay safe, and have a great day. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how simple it is to smoke cheese at your own house. It's called cold smoking, and a lot of people don't realize how easy it is. It only takes about $20 to get started on this adventure, and you can be smoking your own cheese at home. You know what to do. Hit that button, like and subscribe. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Over the holidays, my wife bought me these cool applewood pellets by Traeger, and I instantly knew using my smoke tube, I was going to smoke some applewood cheddar cheese. Guys, look how simple this is. You use a smoke tube to add extra smoke, not heat. So you can just simply put it on your regular barbecue, about 1/3 to halfway full of applewood pellets. Or honestly, you could use any type of pellets here. You could use maple, peach, I don't know, if you had like an almond wood and you wanted to try something like that, you could do it. Oak is something you could do, but applewood, I mean, who doesn't love applewood cheddar, right? I mean, that's one of those ideal cheeses everyone's throwing on hamburgers, using in lasagnas. I'm telling you, bud, I love applewood smoked cheddar. So I threw a bunch of these pellets by Traeger into this smoke tube, and I simply put a fire starter in it and lit it up. Really straightforward. You just need to get a fire going and those pellets will catch on their own. Once they're caught on fire, they are just going to smolder and release smoke for a couple of hours. What's really important is you just have enough pellets in there for the amount of time you need. So I picked up this block of cheese from my local grocery store, Sobeys. I'm going to slice it into like wedge shapes, just honestly, just because, you see cheese wedges. I don't really have a good excuse for it. Just more surface area allows for more smoke to catch. So, like I said, slicing it, making sure just to cut it through, and then setting it on a wire rack. That just kind of makes it easier overall for managing all these blocks of cheese instead of having to kind of like individually put them on and off the barbecue. By just throwing them down on the wire rack, it's going to make it a lot easier for me. And if you want, you don't need to go with wedge shapes here. You can, keep it as the whole block. You could slice into the long, thin cheese sticks. You could make small cubes. It's whatever you want. And all we're going to do is simply put those pellets on the barbecue smoking with that cheese right beside it. Guys, those pellets do not release enough heat for it to like melt the cheese. A lot of people always ask and are concerned, well, won't you melt cheese all over your barbecue? We didn't turn the barbecue on. We're just simply using it as a chamber for our cheese to sit in while the smoke kind of floats around and covers that cheddar. Guys, it took about an hour and a half here. If you want, you can go about 1 hour, or you can go all the way to 2 hours. I don't recommend personally going past 2 hours. It kind of just becomes an intense bitter smoke taste. I personally think the 1 hour, 1.5 hour is right around the money. So after 1.5 hours, you simply pull it off the barbecue. We're going to bring it back inside. And that cheese is smoked perfectly. Doesn't that look fantastic? Honestly, you can't really tell the difference because the smoke's just going around the outside. It doesn't like cover it in a soot or anything. But guys, this smells so fragrant. It smells absolutely delicious. Oh, bud, I can't wait to devour this. But the one thing is, we need to vacuum seal it. So before we vacuum seal, we're going to let it just rest in the refrigerator for about 2 to 6 hours. That's just going to let some of that like smokiness off gas a little bit. And it's just going to help the cheese develop that flavor. Then we're going to take a little bit of parchment paper, wrap it, throw it into a vacuum sealable bag, and then vacuum seal it. Personally, I'm going to throw this right in my refrigerator and vacuum seal it for probably about 5 days before I open this up to eat it. I think that is the perfect amount of time to let that smokiness kind of set in beautifully with that cheese. Guys, this is delicious. It's super simple, and it's something I highly recommend you give a shot yourself. Like, this is a 10 out of 10. You can smoke your own cheese. You can put it on anything. Like, seriously, you got to give this recipe a try. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe. I always appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. Until next time, I hope you have a great day. Stay safe, take care, and make sure you check out all the other recipe videos I have available on my channel. You're going to love it. See ya. In this barbecue recipe video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about smoking a pork money muscle low and slow. Now, if you're not familiar with a pork money muscle, you can go check out my other videos, but for now, I'm going to show you how I plated up this delicious pasta dinner with smoked pork money muscle. It's seriously spectacular, guys. I think you're going to be really into this one. Basic and delicious. Something you can do at home. You know what to do. Follow along. Hit those buttons, like and subscribe. It's your boy, Saucy Rossi. If you don't know what a pork money muscle is, well, it's basically a series of tubes in a pork shoulder that's absolutely delicious with low and slow barbecue. If you want to know a lot more about it, go check out my other video detailing what a pork money muscle is. Today I'm using habanero mustard by Maritime Madness as a binder. That is optional. And I'm using Cajun dry rub from Maritime Madness as my seasoning. Make sure you season it fully. We want to cover every side. That's going to help us develop the best bark possible. As you can see here, I liberally seasoned every side of this pork money muscle before throwing it out onto my offset smoker. Now today, I'm running my offset smoker around 250 degrees. We're just going low and slow. And with a pork money muscle, it's delicate. You want to make sure the exterior doesn't dry out. So I'm going to be spritzing it with apple cider vinegar every, 45 minutes to an hour or so. Just regularly coming back and giving it a spritz, making sure that bark does not dry out. That's really important here, guys. Giving it that regular spritz. This is going to be on the barbecue for about 5 or 6 hours until it hits about an internal temperature of 170 degrees. At that point, we're going to pull it off and wrap it in some tinfoil, but I'll discuss that here in just a moment. For now, what you need to know is maintaining that 250 degree internal temperature on your barbecue will get this pork money muscle where it needs to go. Being patient will help you develop that beautiful bark, as well as regularly spritzing it with the apple cider vinegar. Smoke can cling to moisture, so every time you're spritzing down this pork money muscle, you're giving it that extra little bit of flavor that can adhere. That's why smoked pork money muscle is so delicious. With that regular spritzing, you end up building a beautiful bark. I'm going to pull this off and wrap it in tinfoil now, talk to you all about that. But before we do that, just look at how spectacular this bark turned out. Like, it literally looks like a little meteorite. That beautiful red mahogany color underneath, that delicious bark on top. We're going to go into some tinfoil with a couple little knobs of butter, and we're going to grab some habanero moonshine grilling sauce, again by Maritime Madness. We're just going to soak this bad boy, give it a good spray down, then wrap it in some tinfoil. We really want to wrap it up tight in that tinfoil. And we're going to throw it back out onto the offset smoker and let it braise for about an hour or two more. Once it hits 203 degrees internal, we're going to pull it off and it's going to look just like this. Perfect and delicious. At this point, we're going to just slice into this and just kind of give it a quick inspection. Now, what we're looking for here is a beautiful bark, a distinct smoke ring, and that juicy interior. And personally, I think we nailed all three. This little bite is going to be so tender. It's literally going to fall apart in your mouth once you throw it in there, and it's absolutely spectacular. That's why so many people really enjoy the pork money muscle. It's really common in competition barbecue. Normally, people will include the pork money muscle along with their pulled pork, just because it gives variety and different textures with that cook. And it's still splendid and spectacular. Guys, I mean, check out that distinct smoke ring around the edge. That bark has been developed beautifully. That moonshine habanero sauce is on there as well, giving it a little bit of an extra kick. Man, oh man, building that bark, getting that juicy pork, tender and delicious. This is serious, guys, and I'm all about it. I really enjoy pork money muscle. But when it comes to cooking a pork money muscle like this, you don't want to just eat it as is. You need to eat it with something healthy. In my opinion, that's really important. That's why today I'm just using one of these pre-made pasta packets, but I'm just elevating it a little bit. And I'm going to run you through that entire recipe right now. So I'm going to start with the garlic pasta packet from Green Giant, their Valley brand. And I'm going to go in with about, I think this was half a cup of some chicken stock. I'm just going to throw the pot lid right on there and just let it kind of, go on low. After a little bit, I'm going to grab a fine grain mustard. Specifically, I'm using Maritime Mustard's black garlic mustard. And this stuff is absolutely delicious. I'm just going to go in with a knob right into those noodles, kind of let it go into the liquid and start breaking down, right? What you want to do is just kind of throw in a little bit of cream with it. I think this was a quarter cup of cream. And then just kind of melange it all around. Give it the old mix, right? We want to make sure everything gets coated here. Then we're going to throw that lid back on for just a little bit longer. Let it kind of bubble, combined, if you will. Reduce, I think, is the word I'm looking for. And then we're going to serve up that pasta and then plate it up with some delicious pork money muscle. Guys, it's important you're eating healthy. Barbecue is not healthy when it comes down to it. So supplementing the rest of your meal with something like some noodles and fresh vegetables with a nice little sauce is a great way to bring your meal from zero to hero. Seriously, guys, it means a lot that you take the time to watch my recipe videos. Seriously, I am thrilled that we're coming up on 10,000 subscribers. Oh man, that's pretty cool milestone for me. I think that's awesome. And I appreciate every last one of you. It means so much that you take the time to watch my videos. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I hope you're liking and subscribing. Leave a comment below on what you think about this video. If you want to see any specific recipes, you let me know. And until next time, buddy, take care, stay safe, and have a great day. In this recipe video, I'm going to talk about how I steamed some delicious mussels using beer. It was a local Nova Scotian beer. It was absolutely delectable. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Hit those buttons, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. All right, I'm starting with my 11-quart pot by Starfrit. This thing is huge, and I love using it for cooking. So, threw a little bit of olive oil in there, threw in some shallots, and just going to start kind of, cooking those down. Now, we're going to go in with a little bit of salt and pepper. We're probably going to saute these for probably 2 to 3 minutes. Try and get them nice and translucent. Then you're going to go in with some diced garlic. Oh, buddy, right into that olive oil, give it the old mix around. Then we're going to come in with some beer. Now, if you want to use water here, you totally can. However, beer steps it up a notch. Absolutely delicious, guys. And I'm using Coldstream Clear light beer. Nova Scotian, delicious. One of my favorite beers. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going in with 2 of them because I got a bunch of mussels today and I want to make sure I got enough liquid in here, okay? So we're going to give it the old mix around, just kind of incorporate everything there. Then we're going to grab our PEI mussels. These are absolutely splendid. We're going to throw it right into that liquid with that Starfrit lid right on there. Look, things are going to get steamy here. I'll try my best to explain it, but we're going to go in with a little splash of some cream. Nothing too crazy. Sorry, again, it got a little steamy there. You're just going to let this ride for 4 to 7 minutes. Afterwards, you can just serve it up. Throw some fresh parsley on there if you'd like. But these were absolutely delicious, guys. I don't know if you ever had PEI mussels before, but they are one of my favorite little appetizers to whip up. Seriously delectable, seriously delicious. Just look at this scrumptious little mussel. You better believe every time I brought one of these up to the camera, I was just absolutely devouring it. Every single last one. Guys, mussels are cheap, delicious, good for you. Like, all of this is a good thing. I'm telling you. This is a nice little treat that you can whip up maybe next game day or, just show some appreciation to the Atlantic provinces, bud. You know, we're always out here having a good time. And I'm telling you, this recipe was so simple. That took me less than 2 minutes to start it to finish. Like, that's crazy. If you like mussels, you gotta give this a shot. Just put some beer in that pot and just steam them right quick. You know what's up. Absolutely delicious layers of flavor. It doesn't matter if it's seafood, poultry, beef, pork. I don't care. I'm coming in hot, making sure I show you the easiest way to just devour this. So you know what to do. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to my channel, hit those buttons. It means so much to me that you take the time to watch my videos. Oh, bud. Until next time, eat some good seafood, delicious mussels, treat yourself to something special, and just take care and stay safe. I made an unbelievable hot honey moonshine barbecue sauce, and here it is on some delicious low and slow barbecue ribs, smoked perfectly. But that sauce, that hot honey moonshine barbecue sauce, was balanced and grill ready. Guys, this recipe is so beginner friendly, but you already know that. What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Don't be afraid to subscribe. Make sure you like the video and comment below if you think this is a cool recipe. Now, I'm going to start with a 1/4 cup of some maritime hot honey moonshine by Still Fired Distilleries. And I'm going to make sure just to cook off that alcohol. Next, I'm going to go in with 1/2 cup of ketchup. Now, you're probably watching in this video. Guess what? I'm measuring with my heart. Don't worry about it. I'm going to put in some stinging hot honey, Zombie Edition, by the Halifax Honey Company. Probably about 1/2 bottle, or roughly 1/2 cup, 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup. We're going to get that starting to mix together on about medium heat, medium low heat. I have on a 4 out of 10. You got to be careful when you're making a sauce. And you really want to just keep mixing and mixing. It will start becoming velvety. At that point, we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, about 1 to 2 teaspoons of mustard. You can use either yellow or Dijon. Then 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. If you want a little bit of a heat boost, look, this is already hot from that Zombie Edition hot honey. But if you did want to kick it a little bit further, a pinch of cayenne or chipotle powder will help out big here. If you want salt to taste, up to, 1/2 teaspoon or so at max, in my opinion. This is a barbecue sauce, guys. So we're just going to keep it on a lower temp now that we've gotten it into that simple little bubbly phase there for a moment. We want to just combine this slowly. This is like a 15-minute procedure. I know this video is shorter than that, but this is about 15 to 20 minutes of patiently just stirring your sauce, making sure it's incorporating, and again, keeping it on a low setting. Now make sure you taste. If it doesn't have enough salt, if it doesn't have enough heat, if you want some more sweetness, all of that can be adjusted. But what we really want to do here is just keep moving stuff around. And basically, after about 15 or 20 minutes, you got a delicious little sauce. Check it out. I'm throwing it into this little bottle here. And bud, I have some unreal hot honey moonshine barbecue sauce, and it's going to pair perfectly with, oh man, there's multiple options. Chicken, this is going to be unbelievable on. Pork, unbelievable. And probably seafood as well. I bet you if you put this on some fish, it would be spectacular. Holy cow, check me out. So I've got my bottle of some barbecue sauce now. Well, I was smoking up some ribs at the same time because I wanted to give this a test because I knew it was going to be delicious. I went with the triple layer drizzle on the top and a double layer drizzle on the bottom, along with a couple knobs of butter. Threw it back on the smoker just to finish off. And guys, this tacked up perfectly. Oh man, layered on unbelievably. This looks like a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. And just wait, I'm about to slice into this. You'll see a beautiful smoke ring and that sticky, icky, hot honey moonshine barbecue sauce just covering everything. Seriously glorious. Seriously unbelievable. Guys, this was a 10 out of 10. And if you're like me and love barbecue, you gotta try this recipe. It's delicious, simple, and unbelievable. It means a lot to me that you took the time to watch this video. Thanks again. Seriously, I can't believe how much fun I had here, and I hope you try this sauce. If you do, make sure you tag me on Instagram or TikTok, and by golly, I can't wait to see it. Until next time, take care and stay safe. Guys, I have been loving my meat slicer lately. I picked this up from Starfrit, and guys, it's been saving me a ton of money. One example is this ham that I picked up. So I went to the grocery store, Sobeys, and I picked up a package of ham, just regularly already sliced sandwich meat. And it was $7 for 185 grams. And I stood there, knowing I had this meat slicer at home. So I went over to the meat section and picked up an entire ham instead. This 880 gram ham came out to only $14. Now, if we do the math here, for the small package of pre-sliced ham, that's 3.8 cents per gram. And by slicing it myself, it's 1.5 cents per gram. That's less than half the price. So why wouldn't I be slicing this myself? Well, that's exactly what I decided to do. And I picked up this ham, and when I tell you I got serious amounts of sandwich meat, I'm not exaggerating. Look at me. I am rich in slices of ham right now. So I was thrilled about this. I made a delicious ham sandwich, and the remainder, I portioned it out into reasonable size portions and just simply vacuum sealed it. You can toss it right into your refrigerator if you're going to eat it within the next few days, or you can throw it in the freezer just to thaw out whenever you do want to actually scarf this down. Guys, I'm really thrilled about my meat slicer here. Seriously, this saved me some good money. And it doesn't just stop at ham. You can definitely slice oven roasted chicken breast, turkey breast. You can see here, I actually made roast beef and I smoked it as well. So it's technically smoked beef. And I made an unreal sandwich. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll show off the sandwich here. But for now, just look at this delicious hunk of meat. I smoked it on my pellet smoker until it hit 120 degrees internal. Then I fired it up and just kind of finished it off with a quick reverse sear. By slicing it thin like this, you can have an unbelievable smoked beef steak sandwich. Holy cow, talk about absolutely scrumptious and delicious. Look how thin it's slicing this as well. So you guys know I portioned this out for my sandwich and then vacuum sealed the rest. And again, you can just throw that in the fridge to reheat later. Oh man, oh man. Now that sandwich, simple. Some onions that I fried up with some balsamic vinaigrette and some mustard, and we have a fully loaded smoked beef sandwich, all thanks to that meat slicer. Guys, this was a 10 out of 10. Everything here was just fantastic, and I hope you consider getting a meat slicer yourself. In the long run, if you eat sandwiches, it's definitely a great way to save money. You know what I'm always saying, take care, stay safe, and keep on eating that good food. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And until next time, take care of yourself.